Good morning, sir. This is Group 1 presentation. Okay, so Byzantine. The Byzantine Empire existed from approximately 395 CE when the Roman Empire was split to 1453. It became one of the leading civilizations in the world before falling to an Ottoman Turkish onslaught in the 15th century. The Hagia Sophia was constructed between 532 and 537 AD under the direction of Byzantine Emperor Justinian I. The architects who designed the Hagia Sophia were led by two prominent architects of the time, Anthemius of Tralles and Isidore of Miletus. The inspiration of Hagia Sophia is that Emperor Justinian I commissioned the Hagia Sophia to surpass the grandeur of previous religious structures, aiming to create a monumental basilica that would symbolize the might and sophistication of the Byzantine Empire. Every part of the Hagia Sophia, from its walls and flooring to its dome and minarets, narrates captivating stories. It has been heavily influenced by both Byzantine and the Ottoman elements of design. The name Hagia Sophia translates to Holy Wisdom in Greek. Originally built as a Christian cathedral, it was later converted into a mosque, then a museum, and currently serves as a mosque again. Its architectural design, especially the massive dome, has been highly influential in both Byzantine and Islam architecture. Many artists have created works of Christ the Pantocrator, including Laramias Paladas, Elias Moskos, Marian Zidaru, Svetozar Nenyuk, and Rajika Miki Fortuna. However, the specific artist of early Christ the Pantocrator icons remains unknown, as anonymous craftsmen of the Byzantine era created many. The Christ Pantocrator iconography was inspired by theological concepts emphasizing Christ's dual nature as divine and human. It portrays him as the omnipotent ruler and judge of the universe. Pantocrator translates from Greek as almighty or all-powerful. In these icons, Christ is typically depicted holding a gospel book in one hand and making a gesture of blessing with the other, symbolizing his role as the ultimate authority and source of divine wisdom.
Maria Laach Abbey is located on the southwest bank of Lake Laach near Andernach, Germany, and it was founded in 1093 by Henry II of Lorraine, or Count Palatine of Rhine-Heinrich II. It was initially managed by the Cluniac Benedictines and became independent in 1127 with its first abbot, Gilbert. Laach is an old High German word for lake, and it has been preserved in the name of the lake and the abbey. But the modern German word for lake is sea, so the lake is called the Laacher See. The addition of Maria to the abbey's name did not happen until the 19th century. Heinrich hired builders from Lombardy to construct the monastery. This Romanesque masterpiece features a basilica style with a transept and double choir. Its east and west ends have apses, and the church is adorned with an imposing group of towers, including the square towers and a central tower. The church architectural design marks a significant development in the German architecture as the first columned basilica with arches. The abbey experienced various changes over time, and because of this, the Maria Laach Abbey had a lot of contributors when it comes to designing of the whole place, such as Kaiser Wilhelm II, and the Church of Maria Laach is a prime example of German Romanesque architecture. Is often seen as a fairy tale fortress due to its multiple towers and lakeside location. The church features a round apse with twin towers, a cupola over the transept, and a west facade with a choir and central tower. And again, a unique paradise porch was added in 1225, inspired by the early Christian basilicas, with rich carvings by the master of Laach Salmon, and inside, colorful artworks including murals and stained glass are to be seen. The dark interior is lit by small Romanesque windows, and the nave houses various historical artworks, including murals and statues. The church also features a crypt with the mosaic tombstone of Abbot Gilbert, the first abbot, and the nearby 12th century St. Nicholas Chapel. And lastly, the serene Lake Laach, a volcanic crater lake, offers a peaceful setting for the visitors that will be visiting the Marialac Abbey.
Abbey of San Antimo, designed by architect recruited by Abbot Gidon, and the current appearance restored by Giuseppe Partini in 1870. Inspired in French and Lombard models serve as the inspiration for the Abbey of San Antimo in Tuxani, Italy. The Byzantine Empire also had an influence on the abbey's Romanesque architecture. The meaning, there's the former Benedictine Abbey of San Antimo in Tuxani, Italy, named after Saint Antimus of Rome, whose relics are said to have been brought there. Specifically, this place is famous for its very striking Romanesque architecture and historical aspects, more often associated with Charlemagne's reign. Saint Antimo is just the Italian version of saying Saint Antimus.
Next, we have the Gothic architecture. Gothic architecture emerged in Europe from the late 12th century to the 16th century, continuing in some regions until the 18th century. And for its notable characteristics, it often includes pointed arcs, flying buttresses, ribbed vaults, and stained glass windows, all of which could be seen in both Chartres Cathedral and Notre Dame. Next, we have the Chartres Cathedral. The construction of Chartres Cathedral began in 1145, following the destruction of an earlier Romanesque church by fire. The cathedral was largely completed by 1260, with various architectural styles evident throughout its structure, primarily French Gothic. The identity of the original architect remains uncertain, but it is believed that the design was influenced by the earlier work at the Abbey of St. Denis, which marked the beginning of Gothic architecture. The cathedral's design reflects the collaborative efforts of many architects and craftsmen over the years, incorporating advancements in engineering and aesthetics that characterize the Gothic style. So, one of the things that Chartres Cathedral is famous for is its remarkable collection of stained glass windows, with around 176 windows dating from the 12th and 13th centuries. Next, it also has a royal portal. The west facade features the royal portal, adorned with intricate sculptures that depict scenes from the life of Christ and the Virgin Mary. Additionally, Chartres Cathedral has been a major pilgrimage site since the Middle Ages, primarily due to its association with the Virgin Mary and the relic known as Sancta Camisa, believed to be the tunic worn by Mary during Christ's birth. The Chartres Cathedral is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In 1979, it was recognized for its outstanding universal value and well-preserved Gothic architecture. Next, we have the Notre Dame Cathedral. The construction began in 1163 under the direction of Bishop Maurice de Sully, and the cathedral was largely completed by 1345. The primary architect is often considered to be Pierre de Montréal, although many others contributed over the years, including Jean de Chelles and Pierre de l'Archevêque. The cathedral showcases the evolution of Gothic architecture, blending elements from the earlier Romanesque style with innovations that would define the Gothic era. And like the Chartres Cathedral, Notre Dame is also famous for its magnificent stained glass windows, particularly the three large rose windows. These windows, created in the 13th century, depict biblical scenes with saints, allowing natural lights to fill the interior with color. The Notre Dame also houses several important relics, including the crown of thorns, which is believed to have been worn by Jesus Christ himself. The cathedral has been a site of significant historical events, including the coronation of Napoleon Bonaparte in 1804 and the beatification of Joan of Arc in 1909.
So, we'll be tackling early Renaissance. So, what is early Renaissance? An early period of time that existed between the 1400s to the 1490s in Florence, Italy. The word Renaissance, meaning rebirth, of ideas in the past ancient Greek and Rome that inspired many artists and philosophers, that brought changes in art and emphasizes antiquity and focuses on realism in painting. So here are the examples of the paintings.
The Annunciation by Fra Angelico, created around 1438 to 1445, is a masterpiece of the early Renaissance. Painted to the Dominican monastery of San Marco in Florence, it depicts the biblical moment when the angel Gabriel announces to the Virgin Mary that she will conceive Jesus Christ. Set in a loggia with a symbolic closed garden, the painting reflects Mary's purity and humility. Key elements include divine light, Renaissance architecture, and the reverence of Gabriel. Fra Angelico, a Dominican friar, combined Gothic traditions with Renaissance innovation, creating a work that inspires contemplation and piety, embodying themes of faith, obedience, and divine grace. Birth of Venus by Sandro Botticelli. The Birth of Venus by Sandro Botticelli, painted around 1484 to 1486, is a celebrated work of the early Renaissance. Inspired by classical mythology, it depicts the Roman goddess Venus emerging from the sea on a scallop shell, symbolizing love, beauty, and fertility. The painting draws from ancient texts like Ovid's Metamorphoses and reflects Renaissance humanism's revival of classical ideals. Key elements include Zephyr and Chloris, who guide Venus to shore, and the Hora of spring, who prepare to clothe her, symbolizing renewal. Botticelli's use of tempera on canvas and his graceful composition highlight the transformative power of beauty and the harmony of nature, making it an iconic representation of Renaissance artistry and thought.
Lamentation over the Dead Christ. So, this painting was created around the 1480 to the 1490 in the early Renaissance period and was created by Andrea Mantegna, an Italian painter and engraver. He was a master of perspective and foreshortening and was known for his works for dramatic composition with classical influence and attentions of details on the painting. So, the painting uses tempera and it depicts the lifeless body of Jesus Christ surrounded by mourners that creates a powerful sense of depth and immediacy. Lamentation, The Morning of Christ by Giotto di Bondone. The fresco painting was created around 1304 and 1306 during the late Gothic period and dawn of the early Renaissance. Created by Giotto di Bondone, an Italian painter and architect from Florence, Italy. Known for his revolutionary approach to painting and was referred as the father of the Renaissance. He broke away from the rigid symbolic style of Byzantine art and introduced a greater sense of realism, depth, and human emotion. The inspiration of the painting comes from the biblical narrative of Jesus Christ following the events of his death. So, as seen in the painting depicts Jesus Christ's body being taken down from the cross and was being mourned by his followers. This catches a raw emotions and drama with those who are grieving alongside with him. You can also see Virgin Mary holding Christ's head filled with sorrow.